Federal changes to SNAP could impact people who rely on FoodShare benefits here in Wisconsin. A coalition of organizations from around the state is concerned about Wisconsin's ability to meet new requirements. And they are pushing for bipartisan action to support additional funding statewide to ensure programming can continue.
The state risks federal penalties of more than $200 million every single year, depending on our error rates. Those penalties would be a pure loss to taxpayers. No families fed, no farmers or businesses helped, no efficiencies gained.
The group is asking for $69.2 million in funding to protect access to food assistance.